The Rut 50K in Big Sky, Montana. 30 miles through the Madison Range, over 11,000 feet of climbing, and somewhere in the middle of it, you summit Lone Peak at 11,166 feet. It's part of the Skyrunner World Series, and it's regularly called the toughest 50K in the country.
Why are you doing this race?
That's a great question. I'm not sure. My name's Anthony Franciosi, and I'm running in the Rut Run 50K at Big Sky, Montana. I've got 8 weeks to prep for one of the hardest trail races in the country, and this is my journey. So over the next 2 months, we're going to document and really show you what it takes to go from having never done a trail run before to tackling one of the hardest 50K ultramarathons in the country. And we'll show you everything from my first trail run to the gear that I end up using, my fueling strategy, and really all the highs and lows that lead up to what is hopefully a successful first ultramarathon.
All right, first ever trail run. I'm going up the ski mountain. Got my bear spray because we need that in Montana, and I'm breathing hard. This is definitely a lot different than running on the road, that's for sure. Way more difficult to keep my heart rate down, but it's beautiful, and I have about another 4 miles to go until I hit the summit. 1 mile in now, so let's go. Oh, a little bit of muck. Oh. Oh. All right, so I'm quickly learning. Oh, I gotta be careful running on these uphills. Oh. It is really easy to get my heart rate way too high. So different than running on the road where it's super controllable. All right, made it to the top, headed down. Whew. All right, working my way down. Downhill is just a totally different animal. Oh man. Whew. Oh, just so much harder on your knees, quads. Definitely easier breathing, but whew, what I wouldn't give for some flat ground. Probably 2/3 of the way down, so getting there. All right, made it. So just finished the trail run. Did about a little over 8 miles, 2,400 feet of elevation gain. It took me about an hour and 45. So I don't know what pace that is, but I think it was like just under 13, 12 or 13. No idea how good that is. The way up was tough. Coming down was different in a whole other way, but day one down, more to come.
Okay, so you're 1 week in. What's been the hardest part so far?
Aside from not having any of the right equipment, I just got my first trail shoes this week. I don't have poles, but the first couple of runs, the hardest thing was definitely figuring out how to pace running uphill. I'm used to doing all of my running like in a super controlled environment, either on the road or the treadmill, and I'm always paying attention to my heart rate and making sure I'm staying in certain zones. And running up the mountain is a completely different animal, completely different ball game. So just trying to figure out how in the world I can pace that, and what grades I should be running versus walking. I think there's going to be such a big learning curve to this that it'll be fun. But that's definitely been the hardest part. So as you could probably tell, I'm not your typical trail runner. I played college football for 4 years, then I got into CrossFit competitively for a number of years, and it wasn't until a couple of injuries that made me really rethink how I wanted to train for longevity. And so really my first foray into anything endurance was doing a full Ironman last year. So I just did a full Ironman in November of 2025, and the training for that was the first time I had ever ran more than 6 miles. I had never owned a bike, I'd never swam, so that was really my first experience doing anything endurance related. After doing that full Ironman and doing a lot better than I expected, it really showed me that I was capable of a lot more than I thought. I wasn't sure how my body would hold up to the training. I've had 3 knee surgeries. I didn't know how they would respond to the mileage of running and biking, but I felt great. And so now I want to see what else I'm capable of.
All right, just got to the ski resort, and today's workout is a little less than 2 hours of just running up and down. So we'll get it done. I got my pack here, got bear spray. Hopefully I don't need that. We'll see how it goes. Hey there. Oh boy. So heart rate immediately spiked to 160 running up the hills. It's so different than running on the road, where I'm used to any long run keeping my heart rate below 150, 145 and keeping it aerobic and focusing on that a lot, but it's like impossible to do running up the mountain. So I don't know if that's normal, if I should just let it go and roll with it, or if I need to just pull back, start hiking a little more, but I just want to run. Made it to the top. Woo! Oh man, a little over an hour, 4.5 miles, like 2,400 feet of vert, I think. But got up here, it was tough, that was hard. Not a bad view, eh? Glacier National Park back there. So my strategy this time around has been to try and hike the steeper stuff, but then once I get to a flat section or semi-flat, try and just start running. And it's hard because mentally I want to break, but I know that just got to keep it moving, keep the momentum going. Whew. All right, just finished. Whew. A little over 2 hours, 9 miles, about 2,500 feet of elevation gain. I think I ran it at like a 13:27 pace or something like that. And that includes all the breaks at the top, get some water, snack, but whew, that was solid. I was carrying a lot of fatigue into that this week. It was a big week of training. I had a huge weekend, so legs were feeling it on the way up. The way down actually felt better this week though. So this was the last training run here in Montana, and tomorrow we actually head to Chamonix, family vacation, but it works out that it's going to be a great place to train. So we'll head out to Europe tomorrow, and next week we'll be getting some runs and hikes in the French Alps. So we'll see you there. All right, first full day in Chamonix, and we are hiking up to, I think it's Le Brevant, a mountain on the other side of Mont Blanc. So the views are incredible. Shaking off the jet lag today, getting a good hike in, and then Have a good rest of the week. So one of the great things about training for trail running is that going on hikes is still good training. And as I've started working with my coach, one of the big things he's been talking to me about is just getting time on your feet and really just getting used to being out there on the trails, walking around, hiking for long periods of time. So not every workout has to be super intense or a run, which is really nice because you can do it with your family, just go out and enjoy, be on vacation and still be training, but have it be lower intensity. So definitely a positive of the trail training, which I like.
Why are you doing this race?
Because I want to challenge myself. I want to keep pushing my limits and see how far I can go and see what I'm capable of. I remember seeing people do this a couple of years ago, the first time I ever saw it, and I thought it was absolutely insane, and I thought that there was no way I could ever do something like that. But you know, like I said, after doing that Ironman, my perspective completely changed, and now I don't know what I am capable of, but I plan to find out.
And I am back. Let's go. Back from Europe, back home. Really glad to be home. And I am super excited to start tackling this training block. Things have kind of eased into it the first couple of weeks. You know, it's tough being on vacation. Definitely did a little more hiking than trail running. But I'm looking forward to really get into the training, and you know, we have some long runs planned coming up, and honestly, just I'm looking forward to the grind of it. It's supposed to be hard, and I'm excited to have to just get through it, to learn and see myself get better. So the first couple weeks have definitely been a learning curve. I learned I can't just go and run up the mountain and expect to hold a steady pace like I would on the road, and you know, I can't always keep things you know, under a certain heart rate. Like, you have to really just let the mountain dictate you know, how you're gonna pace it and run it, and be a little more flexible. And then just knowing how to handle the downhills is another thing where I know now, like after the first couple weeks, I really need to train my legs, my quads to be able to handle all the downhill and the pounding. So I'm gonna be putting a lot of focus and emphasis on that. Probably do a lot of accessory work on, you know, to be able to handle that load. So it'll be fun. I'm excited, and honestly, if you've made it to this point, you're still watching, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes. We're gonna keep documenting everything up until the race and through the race. So until then, we will see you on the next episode. All right, post run. This is how we fuel up. Key lime pie and a chestnut muffin, I believe. Chestnut cream. Let's go. Earned.